What's going to be Texas's final record when the dust settles on the 2025 regular season? Now, mind you, full predictions for our 2025 season when it comes to the postseason is going to be on our upcoming Tuesday show. So make a little note of that. But if you don't want to miss that, and you also want to get all the content around college football year-round, you want more content around your Texas Longhorns, make sure you are subscribed right here. Right? You're a college football sicko. We love you for that. We appreciate you for that. Welcome home. Make sure you're locked in. Best way to be locked in is by being subscribed. So Arch Manning getting all the headlines right now, right? It's understandable. I hear it. But if Texas is going to make good on what Vegas thinks they are capable of doing, which is winning the national championship, Arch does not need to be the guy. I say the guy, he's going to start, but I mean like the dude, the guy, Himothy, if you will, from week one, game one. Now, you would like that because you play Ohio State the first game, but my thing for Arch in 2025 that I need from him for us to get where we want to go, if I'm a Texas fan, I need that steady progress. Just slowly but surely. Every single week we get better. The Ohio State game is super interesting. We'll give you our final record prediction a little bit later in this video. We'll give you our pick in the Ohio State game as well as it stands right now. But that matchup's interesting because Ohio State also breaking in a new quarterback. So we could very well find ourselves with both quarterbacks kind of trying to find their footing in that game, and then it comes back to what do you have around you if you're Texas or if you're Ohio State and you're Arch or Julian Sayin. But my point in this is, if Arch is able to just get better every single week and be playing his best football by the month of November into December, and then ideally you're not even playing like a first-year starter anymore in the month of January where it's playoff football time, that would be how Texas does it. Because I think the luxury for Arch is that this roster that he is stepping into, Sark likes what he has on this roster. We said it when we were down there in Atlanta for SEC Media Days. Everyone's talking about what Texas lost. Oh, they lost 4 guys on the offensive line. Oh, they lost a bunch of production at wide receiver. Sark knows that, didn't flinch, and has not gone to the portal heavily at any position on the offense to retool that. What does that tell you? Feels good about the receiver position. I know they got one receiver. That's great. Feels great about the offensive line. They didn't really go heavily there. He likes what he has in-house because they've recruited at a high level. They've gone to the portal and other cycles at a high level. The roster around Arch Manning, based on what Steve Sarkisian is telling us by not going to the portal, is in a really good spot. And so all that's to say, you don't need Arch Manning to throw the cape on during the month of September and October to just carry Texas to their ultimate goal of a national title. That's not the situation here. And that's great it's not the situation here. But I do think to win a national title, again, when we get into those games in December and January where it's hey, man, we got a lot of good talent, but so do they. We need you to make the difference today. That's where I need Arch Manning to be at the peak of his powers, not early on in the season. And again, the Ohio State game kind of muddies that picture, but we'll get to that here in a second. Now, defensively, another reason why I'm big on Arch Manning kind of taking his time in this whole thing is I think they might have the best defense in college football next year. Scratch that. I am predicting Texas has the best defense in college football next year. There's a lot of the known names, right? Like Michael Taff from walk-on to All-American. He is what I think Rudy would have hoped he would become in South Bend. Michael Taff is living that out in Austin, Texas. Shout out to him for that. Anthony Hill, absolute dog for you. Colin Simmons, a freak show off the edge, is wreaking havoc last year as a teenager. He's back for another year, clearly. There is a roster of known commodities defensively, but there's also kind of what we said about the offensive side, a lot of names that I don't think a lot of people are familiar with nationally that are going to step up in a big way. Because you lose Makuba to the draft, you lose Jahdae Barron to the draft. Listen, Jelani McDonald is a guy that I got to see play high school football. He was a stud out there playing the quarterback position. I've heard nothing but good things since he got to Austin and what he's done on the defensive side, kind of in the shadows. I think he's going to step up and be a big piece for you this upcoming season. Just names that people aren't all the way familiar with right now, that aren't clocking to them right now, they're going to clock when it comes time to actually play the college football games. Why? Because, again, Sark has proven he is a builder. That's the biggest thing that I've been impressed with since he took that job at Texas. We all knew he could attract quarterbacks, knew he could dial up an offensive game plan, but the way they have built this roster, on the offense, yes, but on the defensive side, that to me is the most impressive thing he's done since he got that job, and I don't think there will be any drop-off on the defensive side this upcoming season. Also, it's worth noting the continuity they've had at the coaching staff level is, it's a complete anomaly in college football. Like if you're at a place like Texas and you're a defensive coordinator and you're calling a tremendous season after season after season, like at some point in time, you eventually become a head coach. Pete Kwiatkowski, to Steve Sarkisian's credit and to his credit, has stayed the DC for the better part of I don't know how many years out there in Austin. Same deal with the special teams coordinator. Sark, obviously your play caller as your head coach, still there. Like the continuity there, what that gives you if you're a player is an expectation of how you do things. Internally, it creates a standard. All right, now when you have that standard in place, that's what Texas was kind of missing for the longest time. Right? We talk about how Texas was a toxic culture, or they were bad culturally, whatever. Like, to me, what that says is there wasn't a clear standard in place or a achievable standard in place or anyone upholding that standard. Texas has that. And they've had that because of the low turnover, or the no turnover, I should say, essentially, when it comes to those coordinator positions on the staff. So when it comes to the season, man, I want to go game by game here and give you my predictions. There's a lot at stake here for Texas. Because I think if they were to accomplish their goals of going and playing for an SEC title, winning an SEC title, that would be a testament to the sustainability that Steve Sarkisian has created out there in Austin. More on that in a second. But we'll break it down game by game here. You go to Ohio State. I mentioned all the continuity. I think you actually win that game in Columbus because of that continuity. Now, this is not me saying anything less of Ohio State. I still fully expect them to be in the college football playoff. In fact, y'all that have already watched our Ohio State preview, I don't think Ohio State loses a game after this. So that's good news for you if you're a Longhorn fan. But they're breaking in new coordinators, new quarterback. I like Texas' situation. Even on the road, I like it better than what Ohio State has. So that's a big win to start the year. Then you beat San Jose State. You play UTEP. Now, I think you beat UTEP. I think you beat Sam Houston. Now, don't let the kids watch either of those games. Probably not age appropriate. Have a bye week. Then you go to Florida. Now, the game against Florida is one that I've said many times. Kind of a sneaky spot. It's the week before Red River. You go to the Swamp. DJ Lagway and company, a guy who didn't play last year in this game, which was just, again, one of those games that you don't let the kids watch because it was, Florida had nothing at quarterback to work with. I think you win that game, and that's a massive, I think, testament to what they've built internally out there at Texas. Then you play Red River. Now, y'all are going to be mad at me for this one, but hang with me. Red River, weird things happen. Oklahoma has significantly upped their talent level at the quarterback position, and the offensive overall approach is substantially better. I think you drop the game to Oklahoma. I do. I believe in John Mateer. I believe in what Brent Venables is building out there. Brent Venables has gotten Steve Sarkisian before. So I think you drop the game against Oklahoma and Red River. Roll with me. Then you get back rolling. You beat Vandy. You play Georgia. And we've said before, is there a Georgia problem for Texas? We've addressed that question. I'm not buying it. I don't think there's anything to do with a logo giving you problems. I don't think Steve Sarkisian feels that way either. So I think you honestly are in a spot where the Oklahoma loss, if you let it, I think they will. I think it serves you well and use it kind of as a little bit of extra little fuel for you the rest of the way. I think you beat Georgia. I think you beat Arkansas, and I think you beat A&M to finish the year with a record of 11-1. Now, 11-1, barring something unforeseen, should punch your ticket to Atlanta if you're Texas. Again, conference title predictions will be for you on this channel on our Tuesday show. So make sure you're locked in. Again, make sure you're subscribed. But think about what that would say, again, about where Steve Sarkisian has taken Texas to since getting that job. Because it was great you made the college football playoff semifinals 2 years in a row in 2 different formats, but quite a bit of turnover since you've done that the first time. New quarterback, new production at the wide receiver position. I just told you 4 of the 5 offensive line starters are gone. If you're able to do that yet again and be a college football playoff team yet again, which 11-1, regardless of what happens in Atlanta, would probably put you in the college football playoff. The sustainability that Steve Sarkisian has created for that program is, you cannot say enough good things about it, especially where it was when he took it over. When he took it over, it was a thing where, I don't know if the Texas job was, I'm sure it's always appealing because it's Texas, but it was kind of like Excalibur, right, and King Arthur. Many had tried to pull that sword out of the stone, and very few have been able to do it. Steve Sarkisian, now on multiple occasions, 2 already, and going on the 3rd time, I think will be the guy that pulls it out of the stone, that sword that is. And I think Texas is, again, a college football playoff team and will be in every position to then make a run and get to their ultimate goal of winning a national championship. But final record prediction for Texas in 2025, calling our shot 11-1 for the boys and find themselves in Atlanta playing for the conference title. Caden Smith on the 1s and 2s, myself, JD PicKell. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We will keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.